Lawmakers returning to the state capitol today for the start of a new legislative session.
Affordability was a top priority for many, with both Democrats and Republicans promising to put money back into the pockets of New Yorkers.
Our Capitol correspondent Jamie DeLine has the details.
The first day of session began with a swearing-in ceremony. Chief Judge Rowan Wilson doing the honors as family, friends, and colleagues of the elected senators stood by their sides. The Senate later convening for the first time this year, with Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado presiding. Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins once again making history, this time as the longest-serving Democratic Majority Leader in New York State. Also historic, the number of women, 22, elected to the Senate. Stewart-Cousins addressed the chamber, sharing a multitude of issues she'd like to focus on this year.
Expanding universal pre-kindergarten, taking it one step further by moving towards universal child care, because working parents deserve affordable, high-quality care for their children.
Ahead of next week's State of the State address, Governor Hochul announced her desire to give rebate checks to New Yorkers, triple the child tax credit, and build more child care centers. I asked Senate Minority Leader Rob Orr about the governor's priorities. He says while his conference is all for making child care more affordable, more needs to be done.
We need a much broader, more comprehensive attack on the affordability issue. We're not going to pick it off one at a time just in Democratic constituencies. We need to address it across the state of New York. How about reducing spending and cutting taxes?
In the Assembly chamber, Minority Leader Will Barkley called out the similarities between the governor's State of the State proposals and last year's Assembly Republican proposals, agreeing affordability needs to be addressed.
We have many different opinions on how to exactly lower the cost of living. But I will say this, it needs to be the goal of every member in the legislature to lower that cost.
Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie offered his suggestions.
This starts by providing more tax relief to our middle-class families so they can decide how best to use their money. And we should also eliminate state income taxes for low-income families.
The legislative session is scheduled to run from now until June. In Albany, I'm Jamie DeLine.